Hey guys, I'm back with another video today. I will try to keep it short because there is so much else to do in one's life, but I have a thick stack of single issues from the past few weeks, and I will fly through them and will return on Friday with a video with more newer stuff from the last week and this week. Um, so yeah, Kamandi Challenge number 1 by DC Comics. It's a $5 book. It's initiated by Dan DiDio, the boss of DC Comics, who's also a writer. I didn't know that. So turns out he's a writer, and turns out Keith Giffen is also an artist. Also that I didn't know. So I don't know a lot of stuff. So please keep that in mind when you criticize me that I'm not all-knowing and I do make a lot of mistakes. For example, that I did never read Kamandi, The Last Boy on Earth, the original adventure by Jack Kirby. And I know it's a sacrilege to say that because obviously everyone loves this character and this story. And I didn't know anything about it. So this was my introduction to the concept. It's a boy, basically. It's what's this film where the man wakes up and finds out that he's Truman Show, that he's the protagonist of a TV show, and this is a bit similar in the vibe that it's a boy who wakes up in the morning and the world around him has changed so much it's almost non-recognizable. Monsters, strange persons with animal heads are talking to him, and he wants to find a way out of this whole mess. And the first chapter is by Dan DiDio. It's okay, it's fun, it's introductory in a way. And the challenge is for every new art team in every issue to pick it up on a cliffhanger and bring it to the next, to the next chapter. Everyone is writing a chapter, and it's like a writing exercise. You do this in when you're doing writing schools or writing courses. This is a classical exercise that you have to work with, and it can be fun if you're doing it yourself. If you're reading this, well, I don't know. I'm not sure this will have a great payoff, but it looks beautiful. The second story is by Dan Abnett and drawn by, I think, Dave Eaglesham. I'm not sure about his first name. And it's Dale. So it was a fun read, but no must-have. Also, I'm not sure if you're of course a fan of the concept and of the Kirby original. Then it's a must-do because this laid dormant for a long time, and they revived this, and it didn't do too much for me, I have to say, but it was a capably done book. Batgirl number 6. So she's finally on her way back from Burnside, and it was a fun arc, but it went on too long. It was fun, but no... there is a word in German, but I'm not sure how to translate it. It didn't force you to buy the next issue, you know? So, and it didn't force me for a few issues already. It's a fun one here with Poison Ivy on a plane. So stories on a plane are always fun. And I really enjoyed it, but if I have to cancel a few books, this is one of them, and I already did. Then I read the number 6 and I was like, well, it's fun, maybe I should pick it up again. But I saw number 7 at the comic shop and I didn't even look into it. So, it's like this thing, you read it as long as you have it on your pull list, but you're not missing it if you cancel it. So it's not a must-have comic, but it's capably done. Again, The Few, same hook line. It's a nice comic. Look at it. The art is at least interesting. Not probably to everyone's taste. The color palette very reduced. you can do no wrong with a reduced palette, I think. Always works. The story, a bit generic, V for Vendetta / Invisible Republic / the Star Wars archetype of a big imperial or a big oppressive government, and some cool rebels who fight against it, kind of story, which is done so well in Invisible Republic. And I don't know that I need 10 of those at the same time. And I don't quite get Image that they're doing sometimes, releasing 2 or 3 books which have almost the same thematical or even like the same story going on. They had also like this thing with demonic possession. I mean, how many Image books with demonic possessions do we need at the same time? So this is a pass for me. Having said that, check it out if you're in your comic shop. It's a $5 book, but you get a lot of story for your $5, and it's nice. But there are so many comics out there. Nice is just not enough anymore. Black Road, number 6. This is the beginning of a new arc. It's written by Brian Wood, art and cover by Gary Brown, colors by Dave McCraig, and those guys are just a perfect team. I think this is a very successful book. Successful not necessarily that it sells a lot, but it's just very well executed. The pacing, the art, the characters, I really dig this. I talked about it a little bit longer on my best or favorite books of 2016 video. Maybe you can check it out over there. It's, I think, in the second episode of that. And this kicks off the new arc in a very intense way. And I really liked it. And I think, I read the first trade and now I jumped on board on the ongoing, and this will work out well. I think this works in a monthly format really well. No Angel by Black Mask. It's written by Adrian Palicki, Eric Palicki, and pencils and inks by, and this is complicated, Ari Siararsad. Probably wrong, but I tried to do it. So we have what started as a police story, a detective story with post-traumatic stress disordered policewoman who has to investigate into her case is very close to home. I'm not sure anymore. Is it her father who died or her mother? Someone very close to her. But she's like a very emotionally detached person, so she's like, yeah, no problems. I will just do my job. And then she starts to find out stuff about her family. And she finds out towards the end of the first issue that she has a stepsister. And this stepsister, I won't spoil too much because it's already on the cover. There is a supernatural angle to everything. And the second issue continues in this supernatural vibe. And I was kind of missing the police part of it because I was expecting this to be, because this is how the comic started. So I was expecting this to be a crime noir with a supernatural twist. But turns out it's more of a family story where the character is a policewoman. That's it. Still, it was fun. Not as strong as the first issue. Maybe also due to the fact that there are like 6 to 8 weeks from issue 1 to issue 2. Never really helps when you already can't, hold your schedule in the beginning of a series. So I hope they will manage to clean that up. All right, Deathstroke number 10. I have to say I forgot the... okay, this is the issue. Okay. Yes, it's happening in, I think, Bosnia, or at least the ex-Yugoslavia Balkan zone. And it's again a flashback into Deathstroke's, one of his many commissions that he took on, and we find out where he got his sword from. It's like little bits and nuggets who form the man, his appearance, his mind, his everything. This is one of the big overarching meta stories told in the first 10 issues or so. The other one is a big cast of characters who are mainly members of his family, who are always somehow, I think, mirroring him in a way, and problems that he deals with. And you know, it's very true. If you're a parent, you know that you will recognize stuff in your kids that you also have in yourself. And he has to deal with himself and through his kids and through his family. And he's a person who doesn't want to deal with himself too much. So this is my interpretation, at least, of Priest's run up until now. It's great art by Carrie Nord, who I really enjoyed on Exo Manowar and on Conan. This is really becoming one of my favorite DC Rebirth books. I had some issues in the beginning because I was just lost in the story, but now I feel that I have a good grasp of where this is going, and I'm eager to find out how Priest will continue this. Harbinger Renegade #2 was nice. It was a good comic, but is a good comic enough? I'm not sure. So I forgot to subscribe to it, and when #3 was released, I was like, should I pick it up in singles? Maybe I will just go for the trade. There is this very, I don't know, I think it's a stupid thing, a mail away coupon in the middle of it. So if you collect the first issues, send in this coupon and $10, you will get the special book. This is kind of the gimmickry of the 90s, which is returning to comics again, and which nobody needs. The story itself is nice if you know your Harbingers. They're not quite there yet. It's not them. It's not Dysart's Harbingers. It's not Shooter's Harbingers either. It's someone writing those characters. And not saying that he's not trying. He is, and I think he's doing a good job. But you can't feel them yet. It's like written from the outside, and even there are those overcrowded pages full of, conversations and private moments. That this looks very promising. On the other hand, I don't know. I'm a bit torn because I'm also a bit sad that Dysart isn't continuing Harbinger. He did a great job on it. And I will probably pick up the first trade when the arc is wrapped. Lake of Fire, final issue. It's what you'd expect after the first 4. Not saying it's a letdown, but well, how can this kind of story end? Have you seen Aliens? Have you seen Predator? Have you seen all the other stories dealing with alien invasions and good people and bad people? So I hope I didn't spoil anything. The art is still very enjoyable. It has quite a tragic and touching ending, and it was a fun series, but it promised to be more than fun. It promised to be something bigger, and it's just a fun thing. Nothing bad about that. Deathstroke #9. I will say the same. I won't go into details here. This is getting stronger by every issue. Jessica Jones #4. I don't know why nobody's talking about Jessica Jones. I mean, I know it's the same book as Alias, but I have only read I think the first 1 or 2 issues of Alias back in the day. So I have the omnibus, but I never read it. My girlfriend loved it. However, this is just fun comics for grown-ups. It's very strong regarding, the human moments, and we find out a little twist to the whole beginning of the series, which felt a bit weird. Her relationship towards Luke Cage was very deranged, to say the least, and now we find out why. I won't spoil it for you, but it's a nice twist, and it's well integrated into the rest of the Marvel continuity, but it also has a place on its own. The art by Michael Gaydos is rough and minimalist and dark as ever. And like I said, if you like enjoyable comics for grown-ups, this is one of them. Grave Willies by Cullen Bunn and George Cambadais. It's some kind of a superhero book. I read it. It's by Z2 Comics. I read it a few weeks ago and I completely forgot about the content, which is not a good sign, but I remember that I enjoyed it. It's a nice book, but like I said, nice books are just not enough anymore. In this overcrowded marketplace, you need super strong books, and it's not a super strong one. So I will maybe give it another shot in trade, maybe. But I also think this teenagers with superpowers thing, it has to be really special to still hook me, because I read so much of this also recently. Superman number 14, this is the start of a new arc, so of multiplicity, where all the Supermen are coming together from different dimensions. It's like Grant Morrison is visiting the Rebirth universe, and so this was fun. It's a very fast read. Tomasi writes a very fast-paced Superman, I would say. There are rarely more than 3 or 4 panels a page, so you fly through it in, I don't know, look at this. This is a glance at it and you have it, and another glance and another glance, and okay, this is where we get talkative. So I know everyone loves Tomasi's Superman. I'm still trying to like it, but I just don't find it that interesting. Shade the Changing Girl number 4. I have talked about Shade the Changing Girl in my favorite comics of 2016 video, and what I said there is true for this issue too. The setup is great. I totally get the psychology behind it. I absolutely adore the art and the coloring by Zarconi and Fitzpatrick. But please start the story already. I will buy this anyway. I will stay with this until the end because it's exactly my type of story. But I imagine a lot of people becoming like really impatient for a real, plot to develop. It's a lot of people like talking and hanging out and feeling things, and I enjoyed very much, but I'm not sure I can recommend it to everyone. But people who really dig Vertigo stuff and are sensitive people or romantics, if you fall into this category, you will love this anyways. All right, we have 2 detective comics. One is the Victim Syndicate, the finishing, the epilogue or the finale, and I thoroughly enjoyed the Victim Syndicate storyline. I think it was great. I know I'm like on repeat regarding the detective. I think this is a very densely written and fantastically illustrated comic, which feels like a mutant book. It's all about guilt, human relationships, and things which are well intended but go wrong. And this is what drama is always about, and this is a great drama. which gets a spin-off. Batwoman will get her own comic, and we get here a first preview of that. It's the first act of Batwoman Begins, and the art is to die for. I was blown away by it. It's so beautiful. It's by Simon Oliver, I think. Ben Oliver is his name. The art is by Ben Oliver, and it's written by James Tynion IV and Marguerite Benet, two great writers, very hot writers right now. But unfortunately, this left me pretty cold. I don't know why it didn't do it for me, but this was very... It just didn't get deep enough into the characters. This, again, here, this motive of telling a story from the outside, but not... I'm not feeling Batwoman here. If this is the introduction to it, I felt the first act of Detective Comics, I forgot the name, the first storyline was a much stronger introduction to her conflict with her father and everything. This here is looking amazing, and I will definitely check Batwoman out, and they will get the benefit of the doubt. Those creators are great, but this is like this isn't the strongest pitch for subscribing to Batwoman. New Superman. It's a new story arc, and this is getting better and better. What can I say? I'm a fan. What's his name? Kang. Well, the Chinese Superman is my favorite Superman. He's just fun to read. This is a great coming of age teenager comic, which, you know, you get so much for your $3. This will become a $4 book, but even for $4, every page is packed with story, packed with panels, so much going on. Super funny, super heartwarming. Yeah, one of DC's strongest books, unfortunately under the radar. Probably also under the radar is this one, The Fall and Rise of Captain Atom. I only know that Captain Atom is kind of a similar character as Dr. Manhattan. He can reassemble reality, or Solar from Gold Key / Valiant Comics, in that he can assemble reality through the power of moving atoms and make them do things. And this was a super nice introduction issue, a nice mix of, you know, backstory, introductories to different characters, but also action and a cliffhanger, and you know, just a straight up superhero book. Very, very nice, by veteran creators. I think Carrie Bates and Greg Weisman are the writers, and the artist is Will Conrad. And this is a really fun book. If you enjoy old school superhero stories, this is very capably done. I subscribed to it. Carl, The Chronicles of a Galactic Emperor. This is fantasy and space, and it's not very good. And the art is beautiful. So if you're into this kind of fantasy, airbrushed stuff, which is also shrunken down because this is obviously a European book, and is supposed to be read in a bigger format. If you're still interested, go for it. For me, it's a definitive skip. This wasn't my kind of book. So I'm in on this Dan Abnett binge right now, so I'm buying everything that he writes, even stuff like Alien vs. Predator. Well, maybe it's just something which you'd expect out of this kind of comic. So I don't wanna trash talk it. It's just pretty generic. So if you're not already a fan of the Alien books or whatever, this won't turn into one. So there's that. We're almost done. Dead Inside by John Arcudi, Tony Fejula, and Andres May. It's a nice looking book. I really enjoyed the art on it. Very, very unique, I have to say. It looks like a really weird horror book. Has an underground vibe to it too. The coloring is pretty intense. But the story, I don't know. Just didn't grab me. Look at this face of this guy here. It's really, really, really strange. So the mood is wow, but the story is just okay. I will revisit this in trade format though. And last one is Night Guardians of Relativity. Not the most easy title to remember, but a beautiful book. Looks really nice. It's about a group of people who have to save reality, the universe. Again, a book that I read 3 weeks ago and can't remember too much of it. And I think this is also something which really works well in trade format. A lot of characters, and it's really hard to keep everything in mind till the next issue. But I enjoyed it, and I will be back for more if I remember to check out the trade. It was fun, and it's by Titan Comics. That's it. Thanks for being patient and watching this till the end. Like I said, we'll return Friday with a few more current issues. Until then, have a good time. Bye bye.